when you're in the West, food is one of the big luxuries that people are willing to splurge out on. But here, especially for Burmese food, it's not always been the case. But now I think people are definitely willing to spend more on it because they recognize it as slightly more of a luxury as well.
Myanmar is one of the world's poorest countries, with a quarter of its people living under the poverty line. But economic reforms since the country's democratic transition have brought in more foreign capital. Yangon, Myanmar's commercial heart, is now bustling with an emerging middle class. That has created opportunities for people like Tet Myat U, a Myanmar-born restaurant owner who grew up in the UK.
I grew up wanting to move back, and by the time I'd started university, Burma had already started its sort of slow transition, and there's all these murmurs coming about that there might be political change and this and that.
He returned in 2013 and started the Rangoon Tea House, which serves dressed-up versions of dishes traditionally found on Yangon's streets.
When we first opened, I think we got around maybe the first month we had maybe 40% local, 60% foreigners. And in foreigners, that includes expats and tourists. But now, I think 7 months on, we get maybe around 70% of locals.
Mohinga is one of its specialities. It's normally sold by street vendors and is considered Myanmar's national dish. The Rangoon Tea House chef uses 14 ingredients to complete the dish, with 2 varieties of local butterfish. The fish is cooked with bruised lemongrass and added to a broth of chickpeas and gram flour, and cooked with a blend of turmeric, shrimp paste, fish sauce, and other additions. Fresh rice noodles finish the dish. On the street, it would cost 500 kyat, or less than 50 cents. But in Rangoon Tea House, where organic ingredients are used, it costs 4,000 kyat, 8 times more expensive.
We're looking for butterfish. There's 2 types of local butterfish, and usually we use both when cooking the mohinga. This one is about 7 times the price of our other butterfish. Because customers aren't necessarily afraid to pay price for good food, we don't mind going into the market and going straight to the source. And we don't bother spending too much time haggling on the price. I try to be realistic about the future. Obviously, there's going to be ups and downs. What I am optimistic about is that, rather than the bigger picture, on the much smaller picture, all my staff are paid more now than they were 6-7 months ago. I can afford to pay them more.